This is the IELTS listening test. You will hear a number of different recordings, and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have the chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 parts. Pause. At the end, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to Part 1. Part 1. In this part, you will hear a telephonic conversation, and based on that you will get 10 questions. First, you have some time to read questions 1 to 6. Now listen and answer questions 1 to 6.
Hello, Blossomfield Gardening Center. You're speaking to Janet. How can I help you?
Hi, Janet. My name's Dylan Price. I'm interested in learning more about your gardening courses for beginners. I just moved into a house with a small backyard, and I'd like to know how to get started with gardening.
That's fantastic, Dylan. Gardening is such a rewarding hobby. We run a beginner's course every spring and autumn. Our next course starts on April 8th and lasts for 6 weeks.
That sounds perfect. When are the sessions held?
Each class is on Thursday evenings from 6:15 to 8:15. All lessons are held here at the Gardening Center, in our training room and demonstration garden.
How many people are usually in a class?
We keep our groups small, no more than 10 participants, so there's plenty of time for questions and hands-on practice.
Who teaches the course?
The main instructor is Tom Saunders, a professional gardener with over 20 years' experience. He's supported by several of our staff, who assist with the practical activities.
What kinds of topics are covered in the course?
In the beginner's course, you'll learn the basics of soil preparation, choosing plants, planting techniques, watering, pest control, and seasonal maintenance. Each week has a practical section where you can try out new skills.
That's exactly what I need. Is the course suitable for people with no experience at all?
Absolutely. Many people join us with zero gardening background. We cover everything step by step, and Tom always encourages questions.
What should I bring to the sessions?
Just bring a notebook and wear clothes you don't mind getting a bit dirty. We provide all the tools and gloves you'll need. If you have your own gardening gloves, you're welcome to bring them.
Is the course mostly indoors or outdoors?
It's a mix. The first 2 sessions are in our indoor classroom, but the rest are outdoors in the demonstration garden, weather permitting.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to read questions 7 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 7 to 10.
How much does the course cost?
The full 6-week course is $90, which includes all teaching, handouts, and materials. Payment is due at the time of booking, either online or at the center.
Is there a certificate at the end?
Yes, everyone who completes at least 5 of the 6 sessions receives a certificate of completion. Many people display them proudly in their sheds or kitchens.
Are there any discounts?
Yes, there's a 15% discount for students, seniors, and anyone booking with a friend. You just need to show proof of eligibility when you register.
What happens if I have to miss a class?
No problem. We record all sessions and share the videos by email, so you can catch up at home. Also, Tom is happy to answer questions by email during the week.
That's helpful. Is there parking at the center?
Yes, we have free parking on site, and there's plenty of bike storage as well. The center is also just a 5-minute walk from Oakford train station.
If I want to bring a family member, do we need to register separately?
Yes, each participant needs to fill out a registration form, but you can book together and receive the discount.
Do you offer any other courses after this one?
We do. Many people go on to our vegetable gardening or flower arranging courses. Details are on our website, and you'll get a voucher for $10 off your next course when you finish this one.
Thank you, Janet. Could you please reserve me a spot and send the registration details to my email? It's dylan.price88@gmail.com.
Certainly, Dylan. I'll send you the link and all the course details within the next hour.
One last thing. If I have questions before the course starts, how can I contact you?
You can call us on 01284 442 718 or email courses@blossomfieldgardens.co.uk. We're always happy to help.
That's great. I'm really looking forward to getting started.
We look forward to meeting you. See you in April.
That is the end of part 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Part 2. In this part, you will hear a monologue. A person is giving an orientation to a group of people. First, you have some time to read questions 11 to 15. Listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 15.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the North Haven Wildlife Rehabilitation Centre. My name is Clara Jennings, and I'm one of the senior coordinators here. I'm absolutely thrilled to see so many new faces joining our volunteer programme. Today, I'll walk you through everything you need to know to get started: who we are, how we operate, and what you can expect during your time here. Let me begin with a little background. The North Haven Centre was established in 1999 as a small initiative by 2 local vets who wanted to help injured birds. Over the years, it expanded rapidly, and today we care for a wide range of animals, including small mammals, reptiles, amphibians, and even the occasional deer or fox. Our mission isn't just to heal and release animals back into the wild. We also educate the public, collaborate with environmental agencies, and participate in regional conservation projects. Last year alone, we rehabilitated over 2,300 animals, with a successful release rate of nearly 65%, which is above the national average. Now, let me tell you a bit about the structure here. We have 3 key facilities on the premises. First, there's the Animal Intake Unit, where all injured or rescued animals are assessed and given emergency care. Then, we have the recovery enclosures, which are more spacious and mimic natural habitats to prepare the animals for re-entry into the wild. Lastly, there's the Education Centre, where we host workshops, school groups, and community events. You'll be working in all 3 areas depending on your role. For example, those assisting in the intake unit might help with weighing animals, feeding schedules, or recording behaviour. In recovery, duties could include habitat cleaning and monitoring progress. And if you're on the education team, you'll help run interactive sessions with visitors, especially children. Safety is a top priority, All volunteers must complete an animal handling workshop and an infection control module before they're allowed to work with animals. These can be done online or here at the centres.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to read questions 16 to 20. Now, listen and answer questions 16 to 20.
Now, before I go any further, I'd love to share a few thoughts from some of our past volunteers. These comments might give you a better idea of what to expect. First, we have Megan, who worked with us for 6 months last year. She was assigned to the Education Centre and said she never thought she'd enjoy public speaking, but it turned out to be her favourite part. Megan even started training as a teacher after her experience here. Next, Callum, who's now studying veterinary science. He worked in the intake unit and mentioned how seeing the impact of quick intervention on animal survival rates was incredibly motivating. He said it confirmed his desire to pursue animal care professionally. Then there's Sasha, who spent her summer assisting with outdoor enclosures. She said the physical work could be tiring, but watching the animals slowly regain strength was an unforgettable experience. Diego, an engineering student, joined us just out of curiosity. He mentioned he enjoyed the behind-the-scenes operations, especially improving things like water filtration and lighting in the enclosures. He's now doing his thesis on sustainable infrastructure for wildlife centres. Finally, we have Amira, who was passionate about conservation but unsure how to get involved. She said that being part of a team with shared values really made her feel included, something she hadn't experienced in other volunteering roles.
That is the end of part 2. You have half a minute to check your answers. Part 3. Part 3 is an academic discussion between a student and a professor, or between two students. You need to listen to their conversation and answer questions based on that. First, you now have some time to read questions 21 to 25. Now, listen and answer questions 21 to 25.
Good morning, Nathan. I read through your proposal on remote work and productivity. It's an ambitious topic. How's the research progressing?
Morning, Dr. Keller. Yes, I agree. It's quite broad, but I've narrowed it down now. I'm focusing specifically on how remote work affects productivity in the tech industry, with a focus on mid-sized companies.
That's a good call. Are you concentrating on any particular region?
Mostly North America and Western Europe. I've chosen 5 companies, 3 from the US, 1 in Germany, and 1 in the UK, for the case studies. All of them adopted hybrid or full remote models after the pandemic.
Excellent. Are you collecting primary data?
Yes. I sent out surveys to employees at each company. About 200 responses in total so far. The survey focuses on perceived productivity, job satisfaction, communication frequency, and time management.
Have you found any significant patterns yet?
Yes, actually. Across all companies, more than 70% of employees report feeling more productive at home than in the office. However, many also noted a decrease in team cohesion and spontaneous collaboration.
That's consistent with what we've been seeing in the field. Are you backing this up with qualitative data?
Absolutely. I've conducted 15 semi-structured interviews, mostly with team leads and project managers. Their responses add context to the survey data. For example, one manager said that while task efficiency has gone up, innovation in product brainstorming sessions has taken a hit.
Fascinating. What other variables are you analyzing?
I'm also looking at time tracking and output data where available. One company provided anonymized performance metrics, showing a 12% increase in task completion rates since switching to remote work.
That's very useful. Are you also considering employee well-being?
Yes, I included a section on work-life balance, using the work-life indicator scale. Interestingly, people with children at home reported more mixed results. Some feel overwhelmed, others appreciate the flexibility.
That makes sense. Are you using any theoretical frameworks?
I'm drawing from self-determination theory to explore motivation and Hertzberg's two-factor theory to interpret job satisfaction levels. These are helping to frame the findings more meaningfully.
That's a good approach. Don't forget to acknowledge the limitations of self-reported productivity measures.
Absolutely. I've included a section on biases and confounding factors. For example, one issue is that people might over-report productivity to justify working from home.
Good. What's the total word count so far?
Just over 4,200, but I'm trimming some parts of the literature review and trying to make the discussion more concise. I'm aiming to hit the 4,000-word target by Friday.
Sounds like you're in control. And what's next?
Finalizing the analysis section and then integrating the interview transcripts into the appendix.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to read questions 26 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
Let's move on to your upcoming presentation. When's it scheduled?
I'm presenting next Wednesday at 3:15 p.m. It's part of the third session, just after lunch.
Right. How long is the presentation?
It's set for 12 minutes plus a 3-minute Q&A. I've already outlined the structure, starting with the problem statement, then methodology, findings, and conclusion.
Good structure. Are you using slides?
Yes, I've created 11 slides. They include graphs comparing productivity levels pre- and post-remote transition, a timeline of company policy changes, and a quote from one of the interviews.
Nice touch. Any multimedia?
Just a short clip, 20 seconds, showing a typical remote meeting snippet. I'll use it to illustrate how communication has changed.
Sounds good. Make sure the video plays smoothly. What's the submission deadline for the slides?
We're required to upload them by Tuesday at 5 p.m. I've scheduled to finish edits and upload by Monday evening, just to be safe.
Smart move. Are you rehearsing?
Yes, I've planned a practice run this Sunday with my study group. They'll give feedback on pacing and clarity.
Great. Best of luck, Nathan. I look forward to your presentation.
Thanks, Dr. Keller. I appreciate all your support.
That is the end of part 3. Now you have 30 seconds to check your answers. Part 4. This part is a monologue where a person gives a seminar on a topic. You need to listen and answer all the questions at once. First, you have some time to read questions 31 to 40. Now, listen and answer questions 31 to 40.
Hello everyone, and welcome to today's lecture on the history and development of typography. Whether you're aware of it or not, typography plays a vital role in how we interact with the world around us, on websites, street signs, books, and product labels. But where did it all begin? That's what we'll explore. Let's begin in ancient Mesopotamia. Around 3200 BCE, the Sumerians developed a writing system called cuneiform, using a stylus to press symbols into clay tablets. Though it wasn't typography in the modern sense, this was the foundation, combining form and meaning through visual symbols. Fast forward to 15th century China, where the earliest known form of movable type printing was developed during the Song dynasty. A man named Bi Sheng used clay characters that could be arranged and reused. Though ingenious, this method didn't spread widely at the time, partly due to the complexity of the Chinese writing system. Of course, the most well-known breakthrough in typographic history came in mid-15th century Europe, when Johannes Gutenberg introduced the printing press with movable metal type. His press made it possible to mass-produce books, dramatically lowering costs and increasing literacy. The Gutenberg Bible, printed around 1455, is often considered the beginning of the typographic age in the West. The typefaces Gutenberg used were based on black-letter script, very ornate and dense. These were hard to read by today's standards, but at the time they mimicked the handwriting of scribes. As time passed, type design evolved. In the Renaissance period, we see the development of Roman typefaces, inspired by classical Roman inscriptions. These were more readable, with clean and balanced proportions. One of the most influential names from this era was Claude Garamond, a French type designer who created elegant serif fonts that are still widely used today. His designs brought clarity and sophistication to printed text and set a new standard for type foundries. As we entered the Industrial Revolution, things began to shift rapidly. With the rise of advertising, there was demand for bolder and more eye-catching typefaces. This led to the invention of slab serif fonts. These had thick, block-like serifs and were ideal for posters and headlines. Fonts were no longer just about readability. They were now tools for attention and persuasion. In the 20th century, the modernist movement influenced a new wave of design. Typefaces became cleaner and more minimal. One landmark font was Helvetica, designed in 1957 in Switzerland. It was created to be neutral and adaptable, and it quickly became the default typeface for corporations, governments, and transportation systems around the world. Typography was also influenced by technology. The invention of the linotype machine in the late 1800s allowed for much faster typesetting. Operators could type on a keyboard, and the machine would cast entire lines of type in metal. This innovation remained in use until the era of digital typography began. By the 1980s, with the rise of desktop publishing, typography entered the digital realm. Designers no longer needed physical type blocks. Software like Adobe Illustrator and Quark Express allowed endless creative flexibility. Soon after, the web brought a whole new set of challenges and opportunities. In early web design, type options were limited. Only a handful of web-safe fonts could be used reliably across browsers. But advances in web font technologies such as Google Fonts and CSS font embedding have allowed for much richer typographic expression online. In today's world, typography isn't just about style. It's also about usability and accessibility. Designers must consider things like line spacing, font size, and contrast, especially for users with visual impairments. For example, a font that looks stylish on a billboard might be completely unreadable on a smartphone. There's also an emotional and psychological component to typography. Fonts can influence our perception of a brand or the tone of a message. For instance, a luxury brand might use a refined serif typeface, while a children's toy company would likely choose a bold and playful sans serif. Interestingly, there's even research on font personality. Some studies have shown that people associate fonts with traits like honesty, creativity, or tradition. This is why designers don't choose typefaces arbitrarily. Every decision supports the message and identity of the content. Finally, there's a growing interest in variable fonts. These allow a single font file to behave like multiple fonts, adjusting weight, width, or slant dynamically. This is a game changer for responsive design, especially on devices with limited bandwidth or varying screen sizes. To sum up, typography has evolved from carved stone tablets to digital typefaces that can morph and adapt in real time. It's a journey that reflects not only advances in technology, but also changes in culture, communication, and aesthetics.
That is the end of part 4. You have now 30 seconds to check your answers. You have now 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet.